Hello, all. We are officially in Module 10, so you are getting close. All right, this announcement is not that all of them aren't important, but this one's super important because it's going to go through exactly what you're doing for your activity, which has a couple of different parts to it. So I want to make sure it's nice and streamlined. All right, so preheat is reflection because most of you are either partially finished, if not fully finished with your projects, which is great. So I want to give a little bit of reflective time to think about like what's going well, where have you improved, what would you change if you were going to do it over again? How are the readings and everything we're doing in the class, reinforcing how you create these projects, etc. All right, so you got 3 questions, about 5 to 7 sentences per question. And then as always, just make sure that's in by Friday, which is November 3rd of this week. All right, so have that in. Our focus for this week is on the idea of social media, medium platforms in order for the purpose of activism. All right. Many of you, obviously, you probably know social media very well, and or you also did your product with social media. And there is a large, huge percentage of social media that's specifically tailored towards activist programming or activist actions. And we're going to focus on that. So we're looking specifically at undocumented, unafraid, and unapologetic, which is Cristina Beltran, who talks about immigration and immigration politics of what's going on. Also, there's lots happening in regard to political kind of like stances and where you are with different activist moments of what's going on. And a lot of that has been taken up by social media, which we're going to look into. All right, so watch her speech about how basically social media can be used for activist purposes, and it has a great way and a great traction when it's used appropriately, aka effectively. All right, now for your activity. This is where it gets a little bit of like, there's lots of parts. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we are building a local social activism document that we give to the public. That way, if anyone wants to become part of activism in New Orleans, we're giving them all the resources to reach out, to find these places, etc. All right, so you all have already gotten 2 collaboration documents from me. All right, there are 2 teams for this activity. Organizational team, you are the social media people, the newsletter people, and the collection, synthesis, and distribution project people. All right. Content team, you are the editorial and content creators team or projects. All right. Actually, now I'm looking at this, so I might move one of these down here. So just check on the sheet to make sure, because I want to make sure we have enough content. All right. So organizational team. First of all, hold tight because you're not going to be doing anything until after Friday, November 3rd. All right. So let's start with the content team. What you're going to do is, so you got the collaboration document, and the one that you're looking for is the one that says activism content. All right. What you're going to be doing, so this one right here, what you're going to be doing is you are looking for local New Orleans activist media platforms that are on social media platforms, right? This can be anything. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat's a little bit harder, but anything that will be a social media that is also then being used for activism. All right. So what you're going to do is search for that platform, then choose the most effective account, as in one that you're like, this is great. So if you feel like you probably all know the Instagram, look at this fucking street, right? Is it a good activist? If you're like, yeah, this is great for environmental activism, you can choose that one. But then what you're going to do is in this document right here, this collaboration document, you're going to name the account, state the platform and reason, a summary of the account, and engagement analysis of how does it engage its users. All right, so here is what you're going to include in there. Now for the tricky part. We don't want any duplicates. And by duplicates, I am talking about you got access to another collaboration document that's local social activism. This is a collection of all the past classes and all the different activist media platforms we are putting together. All right, reason being is this we can then put and publish for the public every year, then we can update it. All right, so what you need to do is if you have an idea, and let's say you want to look at this fucking street, do a control find, and let's see if I guess we'll just put that word in. And you want to search this document, no matches, perfect, to make sure that your platform has not already been chosen. Since it hasn't, then right below here, you can go ahead, make sure, obviously, edit document, edit, right? And then you can go ahead and put your information in, okay? So that is for the content team. Now, let's get to the organizational team. So like I said, organizational team, you are not going to work on this until after November 3rd. So yours is not going to be due until I'll give you till the following week, right? The following Friday. All right. So this one, all you're doing is number one. Here, I'll go to the directions so you can look at this too. All right. So number one, you're going to go through this activism content and you're going to choose one that you're like, all right, this is great. All right. Then what you're going to do is you're going to see that on this local social activism, we already have everything categorized. All right. But there are hundreds of different things in these categories. So what I want you to do is you're going to add the new ones into the category that it fits with, right? If it's on Instagram, or let's see, this is awful. Also have, I should probably take this out. Facebook, let's see. And searching, there's so many. Let's search through 67 matches, right? So there's a lot of those. Facebook is obviously on here as well. All right. So all you're doing is you're taking from this content, activism content, you're pulling it and you're putting it into this local social activism, all right, in the correct category under which it falls. All right, now the thing with this as well that you want to be conscientious of, which I'm going to point to in the actual activity. So let me get there, is that when you pull it from the activism content, you have to let me know and which one you pulled. So that way I know who to give the team. All right, so organizational team. Where did you go? Organizational team. I think you're on the other one. All right. So organizational team, when you do this, you need to put your name and also the account that you pulled. All right. So that's what you're leaving in the activism content. Put your name and the account that you pulled. So that way I can give you full points for both sides. Okay. So that is what you're doing for your activity. After that, then it's just the discussion board. If you have any questions, put them there. And then we have one more module next week for module 11. All right. Keep up the good work. Let me know if you have any questions. Keep working on the projects. About half of you are finished with them. Awesome. Keep it up. Bye, y'all.